Hello my stitchy friends, welcome to the newest video in the series of my still weekly updates. So we are doing well so far this year. Today is February the 16th, it is Monday, it is around midday, and I will immediately have to pause because my cat wants attention, so I will be right back with you in a minute. So if you are new to my channel, this is also something you can expect, frequent cat interruptions. So, yeah, if you're new, my name is Sen. I am an artist and designer, and this is my little place on YouTube for everything cross-stitch. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. I hope you had a great week. As you can see, I finally got my hair cut. It's a bit different from what I wanted. Like usually I have the very short, like a little lower, but my friend always forgets. It's fine, it's hair, it grows back. I'm not upset about it. So, welcome to the weekly waffling. Where do we start? Right, we didn't do an update last week because last week I did a finish parade showing you all of my finishes. Hey, what are you doing? Showing you all of my finishes from the past years, all the way up to the end of 2025. So this week we have a stitchy update of 2 weeks, which we should get straight into before I keep waffling. We can leave the waffling for after the whips, right? So what did I work on? Let us start with models. We'll just go. These are not chronological when I worked on which, but all of these I worked on. And I will do it unlike I usually do it, like with holding things in the camera, because I'm trying something else this week. I have my tripod on my desk, not in front of my desk, so I can't film on my desk, but I also don't have to crawl into the camera to like check all of my notes, which are in front of me on my screen. Now let me get a backing board because I am so prepared. I'm not. And my friend stole all of my Amazon envelopes, so I have to find something else to hold onto the camera. I think I could use just a sturdy piece of cardboard, right? That should work. So first I worked on the model of one of my new designs I'm working on. How do I do this best? This should work. Does this work? I think it does. This is the citrusy design. I think I showed that before. Let me try to get the lighting a bit better. Like so. Yeah, I think that works. So this is a design I'm planning to release in summer or early summer. It's not that far yet, but we're getting there. I have not worked on it last week, but I did the week before. So my main focus currently, which I'm working on daily, is the pattern that will come to Patreon in March. This is what it's currently looking like. It is almost finished, as you can see. There was a request for a frog mandala, so we will be having a frog mandala, and I love this. I think this is one of the cutest designs I've made so far. It's adorable, and it's hard to put down. I love working on it. It's so adorable. There's exactly 400 stitches left that I need to do in this, so I will finish it this week. Probably doing 200 today, 200 tomorrow, and then it will be done. Along that line, I'm also trying something new to me. I took the little froggy, as you can see, from the design and stitched it on this plastic canvas. So I am thinking about, and as you can see, it's tiny. It's just a little guy. I'm thinking about, like, talking is hard. I was thinking about making keychains with these. Like they put felt on the back and then put a keychain on it. And I will probably do that. But then I was like, if I'm putting felt on the back of this one, you know what I could put inside it? Like between the stitched one and the felt backing? A magnet. So how cute would these be as needle minders? Let me know if that would be something that would interest you. So that is that one. I have not even counted the stitches on that one. I will have to do that so I can put the amount of stitches on my total stitch count for the month, because they are stitches, they do count. Next one I worked on a little bit last week, I believe. Yes, not last week, the week before. Put some more stitches into this one, going further into like the color completion of the dark colors, of which this has many. This is half the size of it. Like if I open the entire fabric, this is gonna be the size of this piece. This is just the top row, top 3 rows. And this is a 32 count 1/110, so this is fairly small. And I will show you what it looks like when it's done in a minute. I folded it back up. New setup needs to be a little bit. This is what this one looks like. This is an AI image, and I grabbed off Pinterest. I was gonna say Pinstagram of Pinterest and shared it for myself, just for my own enjoyment, because this dragon reminds me of a character that I love. So that was that one. That was the random stitching I did without any particular reason. Then, as you probably get from the title, because I'm fairly sure I'm putting it in a title, is that I have found and tried a new stitchy game. So you might already be aware, you might have already heard about it. I'm fairly sure like most of the community is aware of a Flosstube named Jessie Marie Does Stuff, I believe was the correct one. If not, I will correct myself like in the text here. And she, I believe, also did the whip bingo kind of game. I can't remember the name. Whip Go, I think it was. I think she also came up with that. But she made a new game called Myelstönn Manor, and I had heard about it watching one of her Flosstubes last year when she was still trying it out, like late in 2025. And I was like, yeah, I've got to keep an eye on that, because that sounds interesting. And so I lately found her video where she actually explained it and put out all the handouts. I think it's been around for a little bit, like January or December, I'm not exactly sure. But I just found it and I started it, because I was like, this is just so up my alley. So I went ahead, and she did put like a, so I'm not gonna go into big explanation how this works, just trying to do a TLDR for those of you that haven't heard about it yet. It's like some sort of adventure game where you explore a house or a manor and fight like explore room by room, and every room has like an enemy. In this case, that would be one of your whips that you put there. And then when you enter the room, you have to stitch a certain number of stitches on that whip that you roll by like using dice. Either if you have dice, and if you're like a D&D player like me, or using virtual dice. And then you stitch that amount. And if you reach a milestone on that whip, you get experience points. And if you don't, then you get like, you lose a hit point. And when you lose all your hit points, you have to start from the beginning, and you can only open a certain amount of rooms. So she gives you like worksheets for it, explaining when you get milestones. You can also add your own milestones. She gives you like a character sheet. This is what this looks like. where you can mark off your hit points and your experience points. And she also gives you like a like one floor plan that you can use. I believe that's of her own house. And seeing as I'm a very frequent Dungeons and Dragons player, and I'm also a dungeon master, I do have battle maps. So I did choose a battle map that somebody made as my floor plan. This is what this looks like. This is technically an inn, like a tavern, but it has a lot of rooms. Since I live in a flat with 3 rooms, so that would be boring. So I chose this battle map and used it as my floor plan. And as you can see, there's already stickers on it. So when I started it, like I made myself, and this is 17 rooms. So I made myself a list of not even all of my full coverages. I have more than 17. And this is the whips that I'm using for it. And this here is the hit points of the whips, which means like how many milestones you need to reach on it before you defeat it and it gets removed from the game. Again, I will link her video explaining the whole game down in the description, because she did a great job at it. It's her game, obviously. I can just waffle about it. And so this is basically, I assigned a certain amount of hit points to each whip. And I did it in a way that I checked how old they were. Like what year I started it. If I started it in 2022, that's 4 years, so it gets 4 hit points. And then I also checked how big it was, and for every 20,000 stitches, it got another hit point. So some of them, as you can see, only have a few. These are smaller full coverages. They only have like 4 or 5 hit points. And then there's the really big ones that I've had for ages, which have the entire row. And maybe that's a bit crazy of me to give them this many, but we will see. I'm crazy. So as you can already see from what I've just shown, I have already done quite a bit in a week, I think, considering how many things I rolled. So I will show you the whips as I go. So I started in the entry hall of the inn. As you can see, you enter through the main door. There's the main tavern room. And I assigned the whips randomly. Like I put all of them onto a little piece of paper, folded the paper, put the paper in an envelope, then like shuffled the envelopes, then wrote all the numbers on the envelopes. So I have no idea what is in what room. So I pulled number 1, which ended up being the coffee dragon. Then I rolled, and I rolled 600 in total. So I had to do 600 stitches on the coffee dragon. So let me show you what I did. And because this is going by milestones, and milestones are like a page finish is a milestone and stuff like that, I stayed on page 1. And I worked on page 1. I worked some colors in, and I'm still gonna do like the before and after. So as you can see, I worked in quite a bit more. I obviously did not finish the page with 400 stitches. This is what the entirety looks like currently. So that is what this one got. I'm gonna show you the picture of it, what it will look like finished in a moment. Once I grab it. I folded it weirdly. Now I can't fold it small enough to fit in the bag. This is what this will look like. This is also an AI image that I found online and shared it for myself. I also shared it with a few people that also wanted to stitch it. Doing a little bit of a stitch along type of situation. This was the coffee dragon. So once I did all of those stitches, unfortunately I did not get a milestone with this. So I did take a point of damage. So I was at 5. And then I moved up the stairs here and went into the upper hallway of the inn, which is room number, and I'm seeing everything mirrored while filming, which is room number 9, I believe, which was Forest Lake, which I had not worked on in a while. So that was great, because it did get some love, and it's quite a bit, because I rolled 1,610 stitches. And here's the fun thing. Most of my full coverages are stitched in 10 stitch, like half stitches. And the Coffee Dragon is one full cross. So that takes longer, and it is in the entryway, which I will pass through frequently, because every time I go into a room, once I go back out of the room, I will be back in the entryway, and then go in another room and then back into the entryway. Same with the one above here. And this one is also, like the Forest Lake, is also a project that has full crosses. This is 2/1 full cross. And I have 3 projects in these 17, I believe, that are full cross. Everything else is 10 stitch. And 2 of those 3 are in the rooms that I will pass all the time. And that was not intentional. So I will probably cry about it. So Forest Lake. This is Forest Lake. And I worked mainly on page 1. So to get to the page finish, and then I eventually got a little bit bored of just sticking to the same page, and moved over to page 2 and filled in a few colors. Next time I will get to this one, I will probably finish like the top 10 by 10 row on this. And this is, now that I've filled in a few colors on the first and second page, it's starting to look so good. And this is dense stitching, and I wasn't really enjoying working on it. There was like a time when I even like considered FFOing it, because it was a little hard to stitch on, because the stitching is so dense. I love how it looks, but it's like tapestry. It's so thick, and it's sometimes a bit hard to get the needles through. But since I started stitching in a hoop, I'm having so much better time working on this. I don't know what my gripes with hoops were like until recently, because I'm figuring out that I'm really enjoying it. So that being said, on this one, however, I did reach a total of 1 milestone, not 2. So I reached 10%. And reaching 10% on a project is a milestone. Like, she set it up as, if you have a project that's under 100,000 stitches, which this one is, every 10% you reach, you get like, it's a milestone, so you get 1 experience point. For larger projects, it will be every 5, and for a really large project, it will be every %. Like, there's a lot of milestones in here. If you want to pause the video and read them. And then you obviously can put additional milestones, like for me, since I also like doing a little bit of a typewriter-ish stitching, going like along the top instead of doing like prioritizing page finishes. I also added like my own milestones, as in, if I have like a project that's over 5 pages wide, every finished 10 by 10 row across is a milestone. If the project has under 5 pages, it will be like every tower from the royal rows, like every 2 10 by 10 rows. And if it only has 2 pages or 1 page, it will be 4, like just probably even half a page or something, but then entirely across. If it only has 1 page, well, then it probably wouldn't be in the game. But I am planning on, like, once I'm done with the full coverages, I might even do like once I am done with one of the projects that's in the game now, I might even add my smaller ones, but I'm not sure yet. We will see. I will decide on that when we get there. So after that, after I reached my goal on that, I did move into this bedroom here, room number 10, because this was the only room in the entire thing, I believe, that has another room adjacent to it. So from where you don't immediately have to go back into the hallway to get to another room. And this one, because this has an ensuite bathroom, is another full coverage that I have not really worked on much before, which was also good because that means it got some more love, and it will get a lot more because now I need to pass back through it on my way to the hallway, but we'll get to that. So this is the manor. Oh, I didn't show you what Forest Lake will look like finished. Where's me? Let me show you the card so I don't have to pull out the entire picture. That's what it will look like when it's finished. And I'm up here in the trees, as you saw. So that's that. So in the bedroom, we have this one. And as you can see, there's much done on it. And I worked, this is the entire, like, originally I started at the bottom and then moved my way up, but now I worked in the top. Let me fold it together for a moment. So what I worked on is in the top, on the first page, and going across. Because this is probably something where I will try to do like a typewriter-y situation, doing the top 10 by 10. And I did make an error. You probably wouldn't see if you don't know. Like up here in the cloud, because this is like sky. In the cloud, I used the wrong gray. And I was like, why is this so dark? And then I realized that I mixed up 168 and 169. And I used 169 instead of 168. And I thought about if I should, and it's just here, right? And a little bit over here. And I was thinking, should I rip this out? And I was like, no, I'm not gonna rip this out. I will leave this. This is just a top corner of this massive project. So this one got a total of 1080 stitches. And I am now on the way back. So I moved back into the room from the ensuite bathroom that I will be getting to next. So this will be worked on again this week, and I rolled 2070 stitches on it. So this will get a lot more done. So this one I got no milestone on, so that gave me another point of damage, and I'll probably get another one moving through this room, but we will see. This is what it will look like when it is done. This is by Max's Patterns on Etsy. Also the previous one, the Forest Lake, is by Banana Patterns, also on Etsy, because I totally forgot to say that. And I will link the previous one down in the description, but it's because I believe it's still available. This one's not. The shop is still there, but she removed like all of her old patterns, and now she only, or almost only, has AI patterns left in her shop, I think. I'm not sure. I gave it a brief look when I wanted to link some of the patterns I have from her in one of my previous videos, and I couldn't find any of them. So all of them are gone. Shop's still there. Next, after being done with that, I moved into the ensuite bathroom, all the way up here. And if you hear noises, my cats will start to fight in a minute. So don't be alarmed if you hear loud screeching in a minute. And up in that bathroom, my passion project is hiding. In the one room that is hardest to reach, the random distribution system put the thing that was supposed to be my focus this year, which is ridiculous. I rolled a measly 900 stitches on this. So it didn't even get a high number, but 900 stitches is still 900 stitches. And I was a good little stitcher. And I did my 900 stitches. Let me see if I can fold it in the background. And I finished the page right over here. Let me unfold it a little bit more so you can see the entire row. I finished the page here. So now there is, I believe, 2 more full pages in the row, and then 1 micro page which has like 2 or 3 10 by 10 blocks. So this is the row. Let me unroll it. And this is the nice thing about doing it this way, because I can just show you the entire thing. I can't if I put it on my table. This is what it currently looks like. There's so many hanging threads and I want to work them in so you can actually see what this looks like. And I think that's gonna be my next effort whenever I get back into that room, to just working hanging threads. I mean, I can obviously go back into the room. I could just go back and forth between working on the manor and working on this if I wanted to. Maybe I will, because I can, but first I will go back into the hallway, and then I can still open 2 more doors before I get a level up. So I do kind of want to see what other patterns I can already reach. So that was this one. I will show you the picture, the finished picture. This is it. Instead, in case you're new, I haven't seen it yet. This is not available anywhere. This is my own artwork that I charted. This has been around for a long time. I've been working on it for quite a while, and I had planned on having this finished. Because yes, this is... I actually draw sometimes. Like, for anyone that might be new, this is like my genuine artwork. This is not AI made or anything. I drew this like with my tablet and my hand. This is my Dungeons and Dragons character, like my first ever, from my first ever campaign back in the early days of COVID. And this is a friend's character. These two had a situationship, like friends with benefits kind of situation, where like she was like part of our party for a while before she stopped playing. My character later found someone else that he married, but oh no, that was a zipper. But yeah, for a while those two, that's the thing going. So that was Myelstönn Manor, like I said. I will go back to the bedroom, then back to the hallway. So these 2 will be worked on, and then I will decide which other rooms. I will probably check out 1 or 2 more rooms upstairs, because when I either get a level up or quote unquote die, like lose all of my hit points, I will have to start back from the entryway, and then I will get back to Coffee Dragon and I can check the bottom rooms if I can check any more rooms. Because I can currently open a total of 6. When I level up and get more hit points, I can open 1 or 2 more doors. We will see. But yeah, what I forgot, like previous on Passion, up here in the bathroom, me, can't say bathroom, bedroom. Let me have a sip of coffee, maybe that will help. I actually got 2 milestones on that one. I reached a 10% mark, getting to 30%. So I got 1 experience point. And as you saw, I reached a page finish, which gave me another experience point. So currently, which is also why, as you can see on my project sheet, the Forest Lake, which I got 30% on, has 1 point of damage. Like, it lost 1 hit point. So I need to get 5 more milestones before this one gets removed from the game. And on Passion, down here, I got 2. But this has all the way to the end of the line. But that also means, well, I got 2 points of damage in total already. Like 1 from the Coffee Dragon and 1 from the Manor, where I didn't get any milestones. I also have 3 experience points, which means I need 4 more. So either I manage to get 4 more and get a level up before I lose my final 4 hit points, or everything gets wiped and I start from the beginning. We will see. We will see, and you will hear about it next week if you're interested, because I will keep you updated on this. This is so much fun. I love it, and I got so much stitching done last week just because of playing this. It's incredible. But, and here we are. That's not all. Another thing I did is, as if you're returning, you know that I have also played. Oh my god, I forgot. I can't do names sometimes. Wow, it was just on my brain. The Threadwalker game by WildFox Stitchery, Steph, which I had a lot of fun with. And some of my full coverages have their own character assigned to. And I have been thinking for a while about making another character and just doing all the whips that I have for that character, like doing 1 per level kind of situation, because I do have a lot of whips. So this is a little bit of a like spin the wheel kind of situation. I know that like a character, if you've seen the game before, they have their little level sheet that also tells you how many stitches you need to do per level up. And the way I'm doing this is, for this character, I roll a virtual dice, like pick a random number. Currently I have 100 whips, or 103 if I count all of my newer models. So I just have a random number generator, pick a random number somewhere between that. Then I check which project is that number, because all of my projects have numbers. And that project will then be stitched for that level. So I'm currently still under level 10. So I have done level 1 and level 2 for this new character over the week. So there was 2 projects that got chosen that each got 100 stitches. The first one that I rolled, so this is kind of like a gamification of the random project picker wheel. Just, it's a cool idea. But we will get higher and higher the more levels we get. So once I reach level 10, the next projects that get picked will need 200 stitches. And when I reach level 20, the next 10 projects that get picked need 300 stitches. And then there's like these little extra shenanigans that can happen when you reach some of the colored fields. So either you don't need to, if I reach any point in the first 10 levels where I roll a number where it says like on the let me see, there's a 1 with, yeah, with a thread tangle, like I think it's level 8, no, level 7, right? And if I roll a number that gives me minus 100 stitches, which will then here be 0, I will just use the project for level 8. But it could also end up being 200 stitches. So we'll see. Anyway, the first one that got picked is, let me see. I actually wrote the wrong one on it, didn't I? I did. Because I was confused for a moment and was like, no, that's not the project I stitched on. It's a different one. Dragonfly and Blossoms. So this got 100 stitches and I put another blue in, I believe. Here in the triangle, moving down into the blossom and a little bit further down here for one thread, and then I did the rest of the stitches in the triangle here. So this one is, let me check, who's this by? I need my other list. I should start putting the numbers on there so that I can find them easier because I have so many. I think it was a fairly low number. I mean, I have it on the project bag. I could just check. 39. So this is by Green Terrace on Etsy. Again, I will link every chart that is available somewhere for purchase that I'm talking about in the description box below if you want to grab this one for yourself. So it's got 100 stitches, and I will try to add like all the before and after pictures in. So this one, when it is finished, this is what it will look like. It's beautiful. I love this so much. And once my nose band year is over, I will get all of the others. There is a butterfly, a ladybug, a bee, I believe, and another bug, like a green one. I don't know if I'm getting that, but I'm not that much. I'm not a big fan of bugs, but it's green and it's beautiful. If it's not a real bug, right? Next one that got 100 stitches, and this is the last project I worked on, and we're done with the whips. And this is also a fairly new start, so you can't see much on it yet. Can't even see what it's gonna be, because this is a confetti. It's probably AI, considering how much confetti it has. So this is where this one's at. I worked in this dark green thread here, all the way from up here in the beak, down here with a little head, and then over here into the wing. And you're like, excuse me, the what now? I understand, because yeah, you can't even see what this is supposed to be, but I will show you a picture in a moment. So this also got 100 stitches. And I will roll for the next one later today, probably, or tomorrow. I probably won't have that much time to stitch today because it is already midday and I need to edit this video, get it uploaded. This is what this will look like. And it looks good when it's finished, but it's really confetti heavy and I love the colors. So it's by Shine Star X Stitch, also on Etsy. And yeah, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if all of them or most of them are AI charts with the way they are made, but I don't want to like throw any assumptions around if I'm not sure. This is just my personal, how do you say, experience. But I don't mind. I would just prefer if people like put it out there. And this is like getting into discussion theory, and might be a point to put my stance on the whole AI and cross stitch and everything. Like, I am not fully against it. Do I like it? Like, do I like that it exists and it's pushing away like actual artists and designers? As an artist and designer, no. I'd rather there be only like actual real human artists doing human work. I would prefer that. But I am also someone that's like, I know it's not going away. It is here, it will stay. There's nothing we can do about it. But everybody should be educated about what it does, how it's created, and most important of all, this is my personal stance on it, and I respect if you're like, I absolutely hate it. I don't respect you if you do, like, you know. I know there's some people out there who are very out there with their opinion. Like, if you've ever touched any Gen AI, like generative AI ever, I don't respect you, I hate you, I don't know. I'm not that person. I would very much want everybody to be fully aware and fully transparent in what they are getting. Because I know some people don't care where the pictures come from, which, okay, if that's you, no shade on you. But some people do care. And there are and there are getting more and more cross stitches out there who are like, I do not want to stitch an AI made chart. And I want those people to be able to go on Instagram, on designer websites, on Etsy, and be fully aware of if pattern they are buying is made with an AI image or not. And as it is currently, you can't. If you do not know how to spot AI images, you don't have a chance. Like, they are out there. And looking at Etsy, like 80 or 90% of the charts out there right now are AI. So I would very much want all of the shops to, and it's a rule on Etsy. They say you have to put out there if anything you make is made with AI, either fully or with the help of AI. You have to put it there, but people don't do that. So even if you are a designer, like somebody that charts cross stitch, and you chart them with the charting software and you edit them and everything like it's a proper designer does, but the image you're charting is AI, you still have to put it there, even if you yourself didn't make the AI image. Somebody else did. And there's where the problem starts. Like, some people might not even know that the picture they are licensing is AI. Because if you're a designer, like somebody that charts cross-stitch, and you go to like licensing pages like Creative Fabrica, for example, is a big one. 90% of the images on Creative Fabrica are AI. Whether they are noted to be AI, which most of them aren't, or they are AI. And if you use them and chart them, you are charting an AI pattern. And I want people like Etsy shops to put it there, like made with the help of AI or made from an AI image. That would be transparent and that would be fair towards like the community. And if you like, I know this pattern is AI and I don't mind like spending $1 on it, because most of them are that cheap because they're permanently on sale. And you're like, yeah, if I just pay $1.20 or whatever for it, I don't care if it's like AI and it's not the best quality, but it's pretty. Because that's what I do sometimes. Or, since I do chart patterns, either like completely hand drawing them or like charting them from my own drawn artwork, I can chart. So I can just go on Pinterest. I'm saying Pinterest. I can just go on Pinterest, like find something I like that's 100% AI, because AI does not have copyright, grab it and chart it for myself. So I don't have to spend money on AI made images just because I like them. But like, that's my stance. I do not condone making AI images. One, saying you made them, because you didn't. You put words into a computer and the computer made them. Calling yourself an artist, because you're not. You're an artist if you pick up a pen or another drawing tool, a paintbrush, a tablet, anything. You're an artist. Putting words into a computer and have the computer make you an image, you're not. Putting like patterns, images, anything out there for sale without fully disclosing you used AI to make them. No, don't do that. It's like the whole spiel and discourse about how AI is unethical and bad for the environment. I'm not even getting into that. That is a whole other can of worms that people have made big videos about that are way better at educating than I am. I'm just a little guy doing my thing. And I'm like, should I not use, like, for my own personal enjoyment, any AI, especially Gen AI? Yeah, sure, I shouldn't. But for me personally, it's a little along the lines of, should I buy fast fashion? I shouldn't, but I have to, because I cannot afford other clothes, for example. So should I not have like any hobbies, enjoyment whatsoever because I have to get the cheap stuff that might be AI made? That's the way I view it. So you do what you gotta do or what you want to do, and I'm not judging anyone. Like, I'm not judging the consumers. I just want the consumers to be educated, like to educate themselves if they care. But if they cannot educate themselves because people are not disclosing information, then that's not your fault, right? So, do I respect people that are like, I'm not stitching AI at all? Yes, I do. Will I go around and attack people that do stitch AI? Would I do that even if I didn't stitch some AI myself? No, because you do you, right? It's you need, in the end, at the end of the day, it's your own conscience. It's the same as if I'm like, if you're vegan, for example, are you vegan like for yourself, like living your best life and maybe educating people a little if they agree to being educated? Or are you going around and telling people that are not vegan that they are like bad people? It's like, you know, we can't always be perfect. We can just be like, do our thing. And am I trying to justify myself? Maybe. But like, I just want information to be out there. And I myself, as a designer, would never use AI. Like, I want to like put out my own artistic vision, and I want to create things. So does that contradict the fact that I find some AI images visually appealing? Maybe. But if that's the way that it is, that's the way it is. So that's just me. If you're like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna keep watching your videos because you stitch AI patterns, then okay, that's on you. There's a ton of other Flosstubers out there. So anyway, that's me waffling about controversial topics, which I usually try to avoid. But I've seen a lot of people do it, and my cat is doing some shenanigans again. Now that was a long-winded one, and this video is getting long. So let's grab the little boy here that wants to say hi, as usual. This time you can see the other one in the back. Okay, so you don't want up? Well then, go somewhere else. That's up. That's on you, my boy. That's on you. Let me get another sip of coffee. So, other than that, not much in the line of life updates. It is still wintry. It's wet. It's rainy. It's disgusting. And we're not doing much. I'm gonna visit my parents at the end of the week, and earlier today, which is why I'm filming so late and it's already almost 1 or midday, we met with a friend of mine that was here all the way from Belgium, so we took the chance, grabbed her on her way home from the next town over where she was visiting her partner, and had some waffles and coffee before sending her on to the next train. So that was fun. We've known each other for like a little over a year now, I believe, but we never had the chance to meet. So now we finally did. Other than that, yeah, I need to get this video edited and uploaded because a technician for heating will be here in 3 hours, 2 hours, to do some more checks, because we will need to get a new heater, because ours is they finally decided it is not safe enough to keep in the house, which it has not been for quite a while now, but they always did like some minor fixes here and there, and no, it's good enough now, and now they were like trying to fix it again, but it doesn't work. It's not fixable. So now they finally went like, okay, we have to get this thing out and get a new one in, because like if you have a gas heating, you probably know that when it's not working properly, you always run risk, like if the how do I say this in English? Like the heater burns gas, right? And the air from like it being burned goes through like a tube and out of the house, which is fine. It's all good. That's what that's there for. And the used air, like the burned air, has particles and everything that are unhealthy, and which doesn't matter much because it goes like through the tube and out of the house. So it still has a maximum like value that it's allowed to reach, and as soon as it's over, it's deemed unsafe, because there's always a risk that the exit tube might not work properly, and then like the air that's supposed to go out gets into the room, and if it reaches like over a certain threshold of particles, then you can die if you inhale it. So that's the point with our heater. The particles are way above the allowed threshold. The heater is still on because it's like the middle of winter, and we have like safety measures. We have warning measuring tools that we've had for a while, ever since we had issues with it for the first time, and our windows don't fully close, so we're not really at risk. Like it's not a safety hazard to a point where we would have to turn it off and sit in the cold and not have hot water. But obviously we don't want to run any risk at all, so it needs to be exchanged, and they have to do it. They're like legally obliged because we're renters. It's not our choice. Like if it were our choice, it would have been out like 2 years ago. But we're not. So, and these are like small gas heaters, like every flat has their own. It's not even in the basement or anything. It is in our flat, in our bathroom. So you see the issue probably. Yeah, so that's gonna happen sometime this week. Gonna get a new heater. So fun. I absolutely love having repair people in my living space. I don't. But yeah, that's it. Thank you all for being here. If you're still here, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. If you have any questions, like about any topics that I talked on, about any of my whips, again, the games are linked down in the description below, so you can check them out if they sound interesting to you. And yeah, other than that, I hope I will see you again next week. If you enjoyed being here, for my long-winded waffling, then please consider leaving a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you again next week. And until then, happy stitching, my friends. Bye bye.